Ladies and gentlemen, when you guys are seeing this video, it's a Tuesday. I'm tired, and I'm recording this at like 3 a.m. on a Saturday because of a storm, and we have to talk about a couple of things when it comes to Call of Duty and Battlefield and, you know, the hate that both communities are sending to each other's games. And honestly, I see why. I really like the competition that everybody's getting when it comes to what game is harder, what game takes more skill, what game's more fun, and all that stuff. But honest to God, right, at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of people just need to be appreciative about each game. Okay, I feel like Battlefield players need to be appreciative of Call of Duty, and Call of Duty players especially need to be appreciative and thankful for Battlefield and its community, because dude, without one another, right, Battlefield and Call of Duty doesn't make the improvements that it already has for both Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 7, right? We saw the entire backlash with the Black Ops 7 Vault Edition skins, and then they got changed, and the aesthetic of Call of Duty and like the collabs they were doing, Activision addressed that, right? And then for Battlefield 6, I'm pretty sure they had a little update to their Vault Edition skins as well, and they made them more realistic and more military sim, because that's what the fans wanted, right? And I think a lot of people from both sides of the communities and both sides of the games just need to be thankful for one another, you know, because dude, without one or the other, both games probably are worse than what they are, right? No matter how you want to spin it, no matter what you're a fan of, competition and, you know, communities basically forcing developers and, you know, publishers' hands with making changes and all that stuff, none of that happens if the other game's not there or the other community's not there, right? So I think a lot of people need to come to some agreement or appreciation for each other, because dude, the amount of hate I've seen throughout the last day and a half, 2 days now, to Battlefield 6 and to Black Ops 7 from both communities, it's like, dude, are you guys even like playing your guys' own game? You know what I'm saying? Like, if for any of the Call of Duty players, are you guys actually playing Black Ops 6? Or did you guys even play the beta? Or for even the Battlefield players, like, did you guys even, you know, get on the game? Obviously, a lot of people did, but like, basically what I'm trying to say is that like, both communities talk about each other so much. Like, so much. It's like, dude, maybe just stick with your own game and just be like, hey, Call of Duty's Call of Duty, or Battlefield's just Battlefield. I could give two shits about them, right? But seeing some of the tweets that I've read from Call of Duty creators to Battlefield creators to Battlefield fans and Call of Duty fans, it's like, bro, man, we got to be the most hated communities of all time within the gaming realm, right? Because, you know, Battlefield and Call of Duty are not just the only games out there in the world. There's other games and genres and communities that vary. And I feel like for the last couple of years, if you said that, like, yeah, I only play Call of Duty, right, it's like, kind of cringe, right? But now it's kind of different. I think a lot of people are now seeing the worst of both communities when it comes to Battlefield and Call of Duty. And I think it's time to really advocate for both communities to be like, yo, relax, chill out, and you know, appreciate what you have and appreciate the other game to a certain degree. You can obviously have your critiques and gripes with both games or the other game, but I think without Battlefield 6 or without Black Ops 7, without each other, everybody gets a shittier version of the game that they're paying for, or they're paying a monthly subscription for, either with Game Pass, EA Play, you know, shit like that. And I just think it's absolutely ridiculous that people are arguing or sending this much hate to each other about what their favorite game is, or what their favorite, you know, thing is about each game, and like what they don't like and what they dislike. It's like, bro, what are y'all doing, man? Y'all got to be the biggest clowns. You guys should be not even enjoying both. I'm just saying that, like, you guys should be at least acknowledging that, like, hey, without this other game, the changes that happen to my favorite, you know, game that I play and bought, right, those changes don't happen. Those improvements don't happen. And I think a lot of people need to understand that, man. Like, I don't think we would get the removal of SBMM and a change within the matchmaking system within Call of Duty without Battlefield. And I don't think Battlefield 6 has this much hype without Call of Duty going to shit. You know what I'm saying? Because look what happened to their last game. Battlefield 2042 absolutely shit the bed. And I think the fact that the Call of Duty fatigue and, you know, Call of Duty fuck-ups really allowed EA and DICE to come out with Battlefield 6 and really build upon the loyal community that they have for Battlefield, and they played into it really well, right? And now Call of Duty is now being forced to listen to their fans for once, and Activision and the investors and the higher ups actually have to listen to the community, man. Because I think a good thing that a lot of people who are not choosing sides necessarily, but like saying like, yo, the hate that both communities are sending are fucking stupid, one thing I've seen a lot is that, like, hey, you know, you guys need to realize that both games fail without all of us being there to support that specific game, right? Battlefield 6 fails if the Battlefield community is not there to support it or buy it or spend money on it or put playtime into it. You know what I'm saying? Call of Duty fails if nobody freaking complains and or nobody plays the game anymore or buys microtransactions, right? I think one thing a lot of people need to realize is that at one point, both games, Call of Duty and Battlefield, were literally just like potential one-offs or things that were going to fail. Nowadays, you won't ever see a game like Call of Duty fail financially or, you know, when it comes to revenue and profit and all that stuff. And I think for Battlefield right now, if they can continue their hot streak that they're on with Battlefield 6 and potentially their next game, the next, 3 to 4 or 5 years, I'm telling you, Battlefield 6 and the Battlefield, you know, franchise will never fail again. But there has been one point in history for both games where, like, yo, it looked pretty grim, you know what I'm saying? But we, the community, we, the players, helped those games survive and, you know, continue on. And I think a thing that everybody needs to realize is that without us, these games, these publishers, these devs have no way to make money and or make a good game or make a profit. So I think everybody just needs to be appreciative of one another. And, like, obviously you could choose your side, but, like, sending hate to somebody just because they prefer one style of game over the other is insane to me, right? I just think it's super, like, tribal. Yeah, it's tribalism. That's what it's called, right? These guys are trying to separate the fan bases, right, and causes the division, when at the end of the day, with how the gaming industry is nowadays, ladies and gentlemen, dude, we need to be connected more than ever now and not be divided. Because, dude, I'm telling you guys, there is so many aggressive tactics that a lot of studios, a lot of gaming publishers are now doing, right? A lot of people are waiting for GTA 6 to release and see, and a lot of them are hoping that GTA 6 is $100 so that they can also price their fake ass, triple ass, shitty ass, triple A game at $100 as well. Like, dude, if that's not another level of greed that we've seen from the gaming industry, I don't know what you call that, right? I think more than ever now, for everybody that's a gamer or somebody that's in the gaming industry, you want people to be connected and not be divided at all. Because, dude, you never know what publishers or gaming companies like Activision, Microsoft, Sony, EA, right, Bethesda, and others are going to do when it comes to milking the players and milking their fans. Because we've seen it countless times. The biggest example that I've always given is Ubisoft, how they didn't listen to their community at all. They didn't listen to their players that knew what worked and what didn't. And they just tried to, made a quadruple A game with that pirate game. And, like, they failed with X Defiant, unfortunately. But, dude, their company for the last couple of years has been, you know, afloat, sinking, constantly in a battle of bankruptcy and corruption. And not even corruption, but, like, the fact that their leadership is so dog shit that they don't even know what the fuck to make, right? And it's all because they divided their players, they divided their fans, and, you know, that tribalism is what literally caused Ubisoft to fail. And I think more than ever now, I think Battlefield players and Call of Duty players needed to be appreciative of each other, because without one or the other, their game doesn't improve. And also, without one player supporting Battlefield or one player supporting Call of Duty, nobody gets a sequel, nobody gets a continuation of their franchise. And we've seen throughout the last, 5 to 10 years, a lot of franchises get completely canceled and never see the light of day. I feel like more than ever now, if you're a fan of a franchise or an IP, right, you gotta really support it and not be afraid to get hate for it, right? But I think more than ever now, people need to be connected and just appreciate each other's and you know, the communities. Because, dude, the gaming industry is slowly but surely taking a dark turn into aggressive, stupid subscriptions, right? Stupid pricing and just lack of quality, lack of love, and lack of care. We have also talked about the fact that, like, yo, in the near future, maybe these games get completely shut down and we can never get a refund. We saw with the Crew and all that stuff in the racing games that are getting canceled and canned. A lot of people are mad, right? And, you know, I think it just sucks to see the gaming industry get exploited and milked this hard because of the amount of money that it can generate for somebody that's an investor, right? And I'm not gonna lie, like, I think when money was found within the gaming industry and the amount you can make from it, that's what really killed gaming. Not skill-based matchmaking or other systems that have been completely ruined, like the Nemesis system for Wonder Woman, all that stuff. I think just money in general is what ruined gaming, and I feel like more than ever now, these companies are trying to divide us because, dude, they're gonna milk all of us eventually, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, but enough of this yapping. If you're a Battlefield fan, be a huge fan of Battlefield. If you're a Call of Duty fan, be a huge fan of Call of Duty. But sending hate to one community or the other without realizing, like, hey, without this other game, my game doesn't improve or get better, is just super silly to not acknowledge, man. So yeah, but I wanted to yap about this. This is probably my last video I'm recording on Saturday. I'm so tired, guys. Hopefully I passed my midterm, but yeah, it's been your boy Limbo. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.